Let's look at two ways you might use league tabling in the classroom. So, here is my sample of students. Imagine you've got your whole class listed here, and imagine that you're going to show this league table to the whole class, so everything is public. Well, first I can rank the students by their score, and so we can see who scored what. Now I can look at the amount of lines they've written, and it's easy for students to correlate effort here. Oh look, this student has written 52 lines, this student has written 12. There is a corresponding picture, and this will happen in your classroom. This is particularly relevant currently post-COVID. In many secondary schools, I'm finding that students are just giving up much more quickly in their mock exams and in their lessons. And this is a really explicit way of making clear that high effort leads to high progress. And yes, you might get the odd anomaly, so this student has scored much higher even though they've only written one extra line, but that won't matter. You can, if you set homework, also correlate to the students' homework scores. You'll start to see that there is an obvious pattern there. Obviously, I've made these figures up, but that is the pattern that you'll see. And similarly, if you do it by attendance. You can see that there's one anomaly here, but that's a praise for Jamal. You're saying, look, Jamal, your attendance is better than Justin's, but he's probably doing better than you just because he's put more effort into the exam and written more. So just speed up your writing and you're going to be better. This kind of feedback is highly motivational to students because they can see the impact over time of their learning behaviours, which are in these three columns. Now, if you put every assessment in here with a new column, students will be able to see and be rewarded for their improvement over time. So Joe might stay the same, Jamila might go up 10, Justin might go up 20, and so on. Students will then get constant feedback against their baseline, and they'll also see where these things have changed to contribute to that improvement. This also establishes social norms. This is one of the main psychological factors affecting our effort and performance. We always, as a society, try to adjust to whatever the social norm of our group is. So if we can see most students in the class are turning up for 95% or more of their time, we're much more likely to want to do that. If we can see that most students are writing over 30 lines, then we're much more likely to try and do that. And that is just a psychological inevitability with groups. Individuals will differ, but the more students you have in the group, the easier it is to establish a new social norm. Now, league tables are also really useful in terms of behaviour. So, imagine you've got this student who has to have timeouts frequently because he or she can't self-regulate. I'm going to call him Tom. So Tom can't self-regulate, and on Monday he was taken out of his lesson. And he spent 15 minutes outside. On Tuesday, he actually went out twice for a total of 20 minutes. But on Monday, he didn't go out at all on the next week. And then on the Tuesday, he went out, but he only went out for 8 minutes. Now, because I'm counting everything, and obviously with Tom, I've decided this is his main barrier to learning, so I'm going to league table it for him. This gives him fantastic feedback. So here on Tuesday, he might be feeling super despondent. He thought he'd cracked self-regulation because he hadn't got chucked out on the Monday, but on the Tuesday, he'd had to remove himself or be removed. He might be feeling incredibly despondent here. But this part of my league table shows that he's self-regulating much better in the way that he's recovering. We could then start exploring what strategies he used with his TA while he was outside. You get the idea. If you start counting stuff and recording it, you will learn so much more about your learners, and they will learn so much more about themselves and how they are progressing. Similarly, this data might go the other way, mightn't it? We might find that this student is getting worse, in which case we get feedback on whatever we're doing when Tom goes out of the class is becoming increasingly less effective. Let's look at what we're doing and change it. And so my message here is count everything that you value. Don't rely on your opinion, put a number on it, and by putting a number on it and recording it over time, you will gain brilliant insights that will help that student learn more.